Physical wounds are easy to spot because we can see them. You can see the blood. You can see the broken bone because there is physical evidence of the injury. If you've ever been through a situation like this, you would know exactly how it feels. You experience the anguish externally. You may even scream or shout out in pains, and everyone around you would be aware of what you were going through. But emotional wounds, they are different. Sometimes the experience completely inward. The depression, the anger, the stress, the pressure, the anxiety. So much of that is experienced within when we are dealing with an emotional wound. Maybe you've been mistreated and deprived love and care during your childhood. Maybe you've been sexually abused in the past. Maybe someone you trusted betrayed your trust. Maybe your parents got separated and you see it as your fault and blame yourself. Maybe someone you so much love broke your heart. Maybe you've just been rejected from a project you've been working tirelessly for days, months, and years for. Maybe you've lost your loved ones to the cold hands of death. Maybe you've lost your job. Maybe sickness is making life unbearable. Maybe you've been married for many years but have no child. Maybe someone tells wicked lies against you and tarnish your reputation. Maybe circumstances make you find yourself in the mercy of someone who once professed to be a true friend but sees the medium to belittle, verbally and physically abuse you. Those wounds are hard to spot because no one can see them. They are so much harder to see because they are hidden from sight. Or maybe you've denied them for so long that they are not apparent to anyone around you. When we have a physical wound like a large cut, we notice it straight away that we are experiencing pains. The next step is to clean up the wound, stitch the wound up if need be, and finally bandage it. We make sure we clean up the wound effectively. And the good news is that we can see it so that it does not get infected. Healing from an emotional wounds work in the same way, apart from the fact that sometimes we ignore it for too long. This means it has a possibility of getting infected more. It means it has a possibility of growing without us knowing. Emotional wounds are not just as obvious as blood pouring out of your body, but they have familiar signs. It could be the death of a loved one. It could be abuse from a partner. It could be a betrayal from a trusted friend. It could be a challenging health condition. It could be a car accident, a divorce, or an unexpected event in your life. The common signs of emotional wounds are depression, anxiety, isolation, and the loss of determination. Realizing that you are wounded is step one. The second step is to ask yourself, is this something you can deal on your own? Or is it likely that you need some help? When it's an emotional wound, it's so easy to really miss the intricacies and the details of that experience. To heal, you have to really live through it again. You have to really assess and become aware of every part of that challenge. Cleaning an emotional wound means revisiting the traumatic event and allowing yourself to feel that emotional pain again. Yes, it's gonna be painful, it's gonna be hurtful, but in order to clean it properly, you have to go through it again. And sometimes we know that physical wounds require stitching. When we are physically hurt, it's obvious whether we need help or not. You may need help walking around. This I can relate. I recall when I had an accident, I couldn't walk on my own. Oftentimes I request someone to give me a lifting hand. But when we are dealing with an emotional wound or hurt, it feels like a weakness to share that with some other people, to tell people what's going on, when actually it is a sign of courage. If you are on crutches and you need help opening up a door or walking through, you wouldn't feel embarrassed. You know you need to ask for it. An emotional wound is exactly the same. There is no need for you to feel embarrassed or less worthy if you need some support in your life. It is a sign of courage. When we have physical wounds, we immediately go to the doctor. We immediately go to the hospital. We would waste no time taking such steps. But sometimes with an emotional wound, we wait days, months, and sometimes even years before we finally approach anyone. Bandaging your wound is the last step. Emotionally speaking, bandaging your wounds takes time. It includes forgiveness, acceptance, and letting go. This is the longest part of the healing process. Just as physical wound may leave a scar, emotional wound can leave an internal scar. We can't expect it to just disappear just because we couldn't see it in the first place. The point I'm trying to make in a nutshell is that we need to treat our emotional wounds with the same care and attention, if not more, than our physical wounds. We have to become more aware at knowing how we feel, how long it takes for us to heal, and the people we can share with, because it's up to us individually to monitor how we are healing. You have to forgive yourself for not knowing what you should have known and take that burden off your shoulders. You have to stop letting the past mistake, events and circumstances sabotage today. And may I remind you that you don't need to be mad at yourself if it takes too long for you to heal. Be kind and gentle to yourself. Feel every part of that wound and walk through it. May I also remind you that you deserve happiness, and your happiness is and should be your priority and primary responsibility. Be reminded also that punishing yourself over the past won't undo the effects. It will only deprive you of living a happy life now. Don't forget to subscribe, like, leave us a comment, and click on the notification bell to stay tuned with our best of informative, educative, illustrative, poetic, and inspirational videos. Remember, the goal is to give hope, to change life, to impact and make a difference. If you have that at the back of your mind, I implore you to click on the share button and share this timely information with your friends and loved ones. I wish you all a satisfactory life, a sound health, and unending happiness. Remain blessed as we would hear from you in our next video.